Story 1. If you can, spend some time developing good coping mechanisms for stress. Life tends to become more stressful as you get older and have more responsibilities. At the same time, you often have less downtime to figure out how to manage the increased stress if you have not already done so. Story 2. There is no shame in living at your parents' house to save money on rent, as long as you are progressing in school or advancing in your career. Story 3. When dating, do not ignore those red flags, and do not be naive and think, "Oh, I can change him or her," because you cannot. Story 4. Learn to dress better and find a haircut that suits you. It does not take much effort and will last until your midlife crisis. Story 5. Start a savings account and put away money every payday, even if it's a little each time. Just keep building it up. Your future self will be thankful for it. Story 6. Never stop learning. Every opportunity that shows up later in your lifetime will thank you. The more you know, the more you read, the more you become the person you would like to work with at any time. The more valuable a person you will be. Be dependable. Be consistent. Do not do foolish things. Do whatever you would like to receive in life if you were to have a meeting with yourself. Story 7. Losing him or her is not the end of the world. Use it as a springboard for the rest of your life and hit the gym. Story 8. Focus on your education, but do not miss out on fun times with friends and family. Also, take care of your teeth. Story 9. Don't compare your life to others. Do not wait for your dream job or life to just land in your lap. Put in the work now. Save your money as if you were getting fired tomorrow. No one is ever thinking about you the way you think about yourself. Do not stress about what others think. Story 10. Travel while you can, especially if you have free time after high school or college. I jumped right into a career and deeply regret not traveling while I had very few responsibilities. Story 11. Stop focusing on material things. Work hard and save while you are young and have the time and energy. You will thank yourself later in life. Story 12. Take risks in business, investments, and relationships. Put down your phone and engage in conversations. Explore many activities and discover something you love. Story 13. 1. Study hard. Your grades are your ticket to almost anything you want to do. It is not just about money or jobs, but about freedom. 2. Never pass up an opportunity to meet people. You never know who will be your lifelong friend or soulmate. 3. Never pass up an opportunity to learn something new or experience something new. Again, you never know. 4. Establish an exercise routine. You do not have to run a marathon or be a gym rat. Just take care of your body now while it is easy. It gets much harder later. 5. Develop standards for how you treat others and how you allow yourself to be treated. Make your standards for how you treat others the stricter of the two. 6. Do not stop reading. Too many people stop reading the minute they graduate. 7. Travel whenever you get the chance. 8. Learn how to have a conversation. It depends on a simple principle. Be more interested in talking about the other person than yourself. Learn that, and you will be the most interesting conversationalist in any room. 9. Do the small things today before they become big problems later. Things such as paying bills, cleaning the kitchen, and doing laundry. Procrastination leads to misery. 10. Choose your friends carefully based on their character. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Never forget that. 11. Do not rush to find a life partner, but do not wait forever either. 12. Always remember that time is what life is made of. Do not tolerate people who waste your time. Learn how to manage your time. 13. Learn now how to manage money. Develop a budget and live by it. Learn how various financial tools work. Save money every month, even if you need a side job to do it. If your employer offers a retirement savings plan, contribute as much as you can. Your future self will thank you. 14. Do not take yourself too seriously. Story 14. Stay fit. It gets harder the older you get. Also, one point to getting some investments rolling. When I was young, I invested a bit, and those early investments were springboards. Story 15. Your core values right now will reflect where you go. If you don't know what they are, start figuring them out. Partying, being social, and seeking external gratification will harm you more than you realize once you're over 25. There is a lot of good advice in this thread, and most of it revolves around saving money. Keep a solid savings account and build it slowly. Figure out some investments, have fun with it, but be critically calculated. It is imperative as you progress through your youth and early adult years that you be critically calculated about what you want and where you go. It is also very important to be selfish about your goals and desires. The girl at the bar or friend group will not pay your bills. You need to figure things out for yourself and keep moving forward. Godspeed. Story 16. Do not get into the habit of unnecessary spending. It is one of the slipperiest slopes I can think of. Buy useful things and try not to buy items that serve a single purpose. I hear people constantly talking about things they will buy now and what they plan to buy on the next paycheck. Spending just to spend is an awful way to live. Story 17. Live at home and save your money. Do not ride motorcycles. In this world, especially with how housing is, just buy whatever you can. You can fix it up over the years. Story 18. I'm seeing a lot of comments like, start saving and focus on your career. However, I'm going to take the opposite approach. After 30, life can become monotonous, with most of your time spent on work and household responsibilities. So live your life fully. Enjoy your friends and family as much as possible. Attend any social events you want. Embrace your relationships and live according to your desires. You will have plenty of time to focus on work later. I wish I were 20 again. Story 19. Pursue whatever allows you to enjoy your own company more and more, and watch all the benefits that accumulate for you. Story 20. If you do not absolutely need something, do not buy it. This is good advice even in a strong job market and economy that can lead you to good opportunities. However, now we have a difficult job market and economy, so this advice is even more important as having a place to sleep may depend on your ability to save money. Story 21. Always give your towel a good shake before drying after a shower. You might get unlucky and find a spider or some other creepy crawler in it. Story 22. 1. Save $1,000 for an emergency fund. 2. Pay off all consumer debt and stop using credit cards. 3. Save a 6-month emergency fund. 4. Invest 15% of your income toward retirement. Story 23. 1. Take care of yourself physically and emotionally. 2. Do not spend on frivolous things because you deserve it. 3. Earn interest. Do not pay interest. 4. Set yourself up for retirement. Story 24. If you can pay off your credit cards every time, you should. Your credit is very important and can help you later if you need to take out loans or manage debt. An early high credit score makes it easier to maintain even with some debt and gives you a better chance of recovering. Story 25. Also, be where your feet are and try not to take things too seriously. I spent my 20s thinking, I will be set or successful or happy when perhaps. Consider yourself a success if you are a contributing member of society. Success does not mean being rich. Abundance does not mean money either. It means an abundance of food, love, or self-discovery. The years really do fly, so try to slow down and be intentional. Story 26. Invest now and stick to it, whether times are good or hard. Pick any amount you are comfortable with, and when you get paid, put it in an exchange-traded fund of your choice. Depending on your location, a tax-advantaged vehicle might be possible. Do not day trade. Do not invest in cryptocurrency. Do not sell when the market dips. Just keep stacking. Time will make it grow. Consider options like Morgan Stanley Capital International Core World or Standard & Poor's 500. If I had done this when I was 20, I would not have missed a single experience or thing, but I would have enough cash saved to buy a small house now. I started at 30, so I am already 10 years behind. Story 27. Friendship is about quality, not quantity. Even if you are a fairly social person who can get along with everyone, you just cannot be friends with everyone. Just like a romantic relationship, friendship takes dedication, time, and effort. No matter how much you want to, you cannot provide that for every single person you meet. You have to pick and choose who can stay acquaintances and who you want close to you. Those you want to keep close, you give your everything for. This is how you maintain a good group of friends throughout your whole life. Story 28. Invest money and do not touch it. Do not waste time and enjoy life. Time is your biggest asset, but it is finite. Story 29. Max out that Roth individual retirement account as soon as you can. Also, stay physically fit so you can enjoy that money in retirement. Many people over 50 start experiencing health issues. Story 30. People's perspectives do not matter. Do not try to appear as something you are not. You do not need that finance Mercedes, flashy apartment beyond your budget, designer clothes, or anything else that drains your cash. Invest your time in acquiring new skills and doing your job as best as you can while seeking better opportunities and higher paying positions. These are the years to save and build wealth as much as possible. Have some money for fun hobbies and do not forget to live, but remember to only stretch your legs as far as your blanket reaches. Story 31. Do not go into credit card debt. Only spend money you have. I have friends drowning in debt, and it does not seem very fun. It blows my mind, to be honest. Story 32. Do not subconsciously or consciously think or expect that certain things, career, relationships, vacations, cars, or whatever is important to you personally, will just happen automatically once you reach a certain age or simply because you expect to grow into them. Most things you want, you will have to pursue. There might be some lucky days here and there, but do not rely on them. This may sound abstract, so here is a personal example. When I went to university in my early 20s, it was my first time living on my own, far away from home, getting to know new people. At this point, I had zero experience with dating. I still remember driving to my dorm on my own for the first time thinking, I am finally going to hook up with so many girls, based on absolutely nothing other than that vague idea of course this is going to happen. That is what people do in this environment. I pretty much expected these things would happen to me more or less automatically. Well, guess what? I studied there for 5 years, no relationship, hookup, kiss, or even a date. Who would have thought that these things actually require some sort of active effort? So yes, do not be the same absolute idiot that I was. Work towards your goals. Also, definitely pick up some form of physical activity that you can comfortably do for essentially the rest of your life. It is not technically necessary right now, but the sooner, the better. Great for mental and physical health. Story 33. Do not ever let anyone tell you nonsense like, you need to have achieved this, or that by age 20-something. Story 34. I have absolutely no idea. The advice I received at age 20 would not work for someone about to turn 20 now. Story 35. 1. Find a small group of friends who get along and do not add drama to your life. 2. Experiment with new hobbies. There are many fun activities out there that I did not know I would love until I gave them a chance. 3. Find a social safe place. I have a bar that I go to once a week. I made friends with the bartender and socialize with people from all age groups. I like to try new restaurants and visit new places, but it is always nice to have a social safe space where people know you and you enjoy their company. 4. Figure out what you like and dislike about your career and start designing a path toward what you want your future to look like. Nothing is guaranteed anymore, so making connections in the areas where you want to progress is very valuable. Story 36. This is a low-stakes, superficial topic, but dressing for your body type will do more for you than following trends. I am 28 years old and was very disappointed throughout my mid-20s because nothing I wore looked good, even when I lost weight. I started dressing to complement my body and somewhat ignore what is in fashion, and I look much better now. For example, wide-leg trousers are very popular these days, and I look horrible in them. The old me would have worn them anyway, but now I choose to let the trend pass me by. To add, this is not age-specific. It is just something I have learned with age. Story 37. Do all the unusual things now because you cannot leave a stable job and a mortgage later in life to try a different life path that you were too scared to try in your 20s. Story 38. Be ethical about where you stand when people look for stability. Just in case, have stock in bullets and bandages. Things are about to get strange. Story 39. Invest for your future. Open a health savings account, even when you are young and feel you do not need the insurance. Let the money accumulate over the years. Open an individual retirement account. Steady investing will pay off. Every little bit will add up. Story 40. Do what you are doing and ask questions. Good questions are specific. People are more likely to have answers for specific questions that apply to them than for general questions. Story 41. Learn how to set boundaries. People will like and respect you more. This prevents others from taking advantage of you to get what they want. Story 42. Save money systematically. Make a habit of it as early as possible. It will not get in the way of having fun. It will contribute to more fun later in life. Story 43. Learn money management. Become comfortable with budgeting, saving, and spending only when you absolutely need to. Make a small fund for fun, but be mindful that you use the fund only for fun and do not take from other funds for fun. Story 44. It is okay that you do not know what you are doing. There is no right way to be an adult. You do not have to meal plan, clean, or be conscious of money in the ways you are told is best. This is not saying you need to do any of those things, but there is no one right way to do them. The right way is the way that works best for you. For me, I try to invite people to my place regularly because that is the only way I can motivate myself to clean. Some weeks I do not cook, but I eat frozen Trader Joe's dumplings for multiple meals. Would it make more sense to clean a little bit regularly and prepare meals each week? Probably, but that does not work for me, so I do not do it. Story 45. Save money for the love of God. Things are getting worse and worse with the cost of housing, food, and inflation. Layoffs are happening. Save everything you can because the outlook is not great for the next few years. Story 46. Since we are all ultimately responsible for ourselves, cultivation of yourself should be your top priority. Everything you do in the next 5 years will determine the course of your life for the rest of your life. Get an education and concentrate on cultivating your personality, skills, and understanding. Story 47. These are truly the years to figure out who you are. This is a time to do what you want when you want. Enjoy it, make mistakes, and have fun, but work towards a larger goal for your future. Story 48. You do not need to be a financial expert. If you have a savings account at a bank like PNC Bank, there is a good chance they have financial advisors you can use to get free or low-cost professional financial advice. Focus on monitoring your purchases, saving money, and investing in something solid. Never be loyal to your employer. They are not loyal to you. This does not mean committing crimes, but it means never hesitating to look for a better job, no matter how you define it, or how much you may like your coworkers or boss. Getting comfortable can mean you are just tolerating a bad job. Avoiding opportunities to explore new options will not be rewarded when it comes time for layoffs and your job becomes a target. Story 49. Invest every month if possible, no matter how little. The compounding effect is greater than not investing. Story 50. Stop drinking and smoking weed. Save as much money as possible, including contributions to your retirement savings accounts such as a 401k plan and Roth individual retirement account. Stay active. Read books. Have hobbies that you love. Stay away from toxic people and surround yourself with happy, successful individuals. Start learning a skill and become handy around the house by fixing plumbing, painting, gardening, and more. Learn to cook at home and reduce eating out at restaurants. Having money does not mean you should spend it. Most things in life that matter are not material possessions. Story 51. You do not have to have your life together by 25. We all thought we should, but as it turns out, it is almost impossible. However, everything will fall into place once you develop the right mindset and discipline. It may take you a decade or so more, but you will get there. So, take your time and make a few mistakes. You will not be 20 again. Story 52. Do physical activities you enjoy because you will not be able to go hard when you are 40 and have not skied for 20 years. Story 53. Take care of your body, mind, and finances. Every healthy habit you develop now and every dollar you save today will grow in your 40s and beyond. Story 54. Start saving each month, even small amounts. Take care of your teeth. Do some kind of exercise such as walking or going to the gym. Story 55. Try to find stocks that pay dividends. Start improving your financial literacy if you have not already. Unexpected events happen, and when they do, you will want a sufficient emergency savings fund. Consistent investment as a percentage of your income will help you in the long term. Story 56. Zero your credit card balance every month without fail. Do not take out a loan. Do not use buy now, pay later services. Make sinking funds for semi-regular treats or holidays. Sauve. The economy is awful and getting worse. As always, sincerely, a 31-year-old who just spent 2 years giving every single penny to the bank to get out of debt. Nearly there. Story 57. There is a bad habit common to many people today. Drugs, drinking, pornography, scrolling, gambling, smoking, and vaping. The earlier you learn that none of these will make you happy in the long run, the better. If you ever feel like you are losing control over any of them, seek help. Find and learn a skill that is both in demand on the market and that you enjoy or feel you can excel at. Hopefully, in a few years, you will no longer need to beg for a job. Instead, people will try to hire you. Story 58. When you date, focus on a slow burn instead of intense chemistry right from the start. Those hormones will eventually decrease, and you need to have common ground with the person to make the relationship work. For some reason, unstable people tend to create situations of intense chemistry, like love at first sight. You get a wild ride, but it always ends in a disaster. Story 59. Enjoy your freedom. Experiment and explore. Soon you will have to start thinking longer term about relationships, career, your health, and saving. Story 60. Max out Roth individual retirement account and 401k if you have one. Invest as much as you can. That is the only thing that determines how long you will work. If you have been at a job more than 3 years, look nationwide for one that pays more. If you have children, live in different places when they are too young to remember. Babies do not care whether you live in a house or an apartment. Once they are in kindergarten, they will want more stability. Also, get all the education you will ever want because it is much harder to get later. Story 61. Get in shape now. It is much easier in your early 20s and will be much easier to maintain as you get older. Story 62. Date someone with a plan and have a plan yourself, whether it is education, training, or something else. I met someone who was happy to drop everything to move to their newly minted boyfriend. It is romantic, don't get me wrong. But I would much prefer to start a life with someone who cannot drop everything because they have their own plan for the future, not just rely on mine. Story 63. Start contributing to a retirement account monthly. Even if it is $5, just get one started. Increase monthly contributions as you are able. Also, avoid consumer debt. Carrying a large balance on a credit card will keep you poor. Financing is a business designed to take your money, not help you. Some are able to leverage it responsibly, but tread carefully. Story 64. Invest your money, even if it is just $50, euros, or pounds. Do not buy a fancy car. Buy a used one and repair it as needed. In the end, it is still cheaper than buying a new one. Future you will thank you. Story 65. Stop investing your energy in negativity, things that bring negativity, or things that make you or others around you negative. Invest in positivity and productivity. Story 66. Set up an exchange-traded fund with worldwide diversification across developed and developing countries. Make automated payments into it. Do not sell, do not try to play the Wolf of Wall Street, do not panic, and do not even look into it until you are over 60. Story 67. Know the difference between needs and wants. Set up a budget and know your spending limit. I wish I had told myself that. I'm out now, but I wish I had never put myself in that situation to begin with. Story 68. Labubis. Really? You're buying Labubis? You're buying low-quality perfume oils on TikTok Shop? Open a Charles Schwab or Fidelity account right now, buy an exchange-traded fund, and save yourself from yourself. Story 69. Start investing in your retirement fund. Even if it is just $50 a month, whatever you can afford. Compounding interest is a very powerful tool. Story 70. Honestly, work your ass off. How hard you work and the success you see from it between ages 25 and 30 will be reflected in your 30s. If you are in the early part of your career, work hard and network within your industry. Get out there and make connections. It is especially hard for introverts, but will undoubtedly be worth it later in your career. If you keep doubling down, you will probably have a great career and lifestyle. Story 71. Devote some time to exercise. Not monthly, but at least 2 to 3 times weekly. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to the gym or adopt a specific lifestyle if it's not for you. Set up something at home and get some exercise, or your body will resent you later. The best day to start a new habit was yesterday. The next best day is today, so get after it. Story 72. Find a healthy balance between working hard, saving money, and enjoying your 20s. We are only in our 20s once. Start a Roth individual retirement account. Pursue things you love. Go to the gym. Story 73. Do not get into serious relationships. Educate yourself. Think of others. And live with your parents for as long as you can. Ignore the shame around it. Saving money is important. Story 74. Pursue hobbies for fun and take the time to find a way to move your body that you enjoy and can sustain. I underestimated how much of a challenge it would be for me to do this after 25, and I am physically suffering because of it. I cannot overemphasize the importance of even just implementing a walking routine for mental and physical health, especially if your employment forces you into an inactive or sedentary lifestyle. Story 75. Do not just settle for your partner if they do small things that annoy you. It will get worse with marriage. Take care of yourself. Story 76. Finish your higher education, whether it is trade school or your bachelor's degree. Many jobs require a degree to get through the human resources filters, and it is a good idea to have one to advance in your career. Bonus tip. Make sure that degree is in a relevant field for the job market. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is safe. Education and teaching are safe. Fine arts is not, unless you want to pursue an advanced degree and teach at the university level. Story 77. Don't think you are too old to start again and try a different career or go back to college. It is never too late, and 20 is a good age to try new things. Story 78. Save as much as you can while living fully. Meet people, explore new horizons, and travel. These experiences will help you choose the right path for your future, in my opinion, if you are an adventurer. Story 79. Smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol, and playing video games are not everything. Spend your time thinking about what you truly want to do in life. Enjoy your time with your parents while they are still younger. Finally, look into saving money and investing. Story 80. I believe life will change significantly in the next 5 years, and I cannot predict what will happen. Story 81. Find what you are good at. Dedicate a disproportionate amount of time to getting better at it. Monetize it. Story 82. Start investing early. You cannot make up the time lost by not having invested, and compound gains are significant. For every $1,000 invested in the SPDR S&P 500 ETF trust at the age of 20, you will have $17,000 in today's value at the age of 65. Story 83. Take care of your body and stay healthy. Do stretching and mobilization exercises. Take moments to relax and practice breathing exercises. Try to minimize any form of drug use. Story 84. Learn to save and invest. Also, have an emergency fund. Problems occur, and they are usually unexpected incidents on a quiet Thursday afternoon. Story 85. Don't be afraid to try something new. Recording your results in life can help you improve and become a better person. Story 86. Save money, do not overthink decisions, and try to invest a few years into a field or skill that you can use in your late 20s. Story 87. If you do not have things figured out, try not to stress too much. These are your best years. Have fun and say yes to life. Story 88. At 20, I thought I knew everything. I, in fact, did not know much at 20. Most people do not. Give things time and do not make too many major life decisions before your brain is fully developed. Story 89. Invest your money, don't overreact, and for God's sake, have fun. You will never live in a more carefree time than your 20s. Early 20s are the time to take reasonable chances, make a few mistakes, and learn from them. If you make mistakes in your 20s, you typically suffer very little damage you likely don't have. Dependents, a spouse, or a career-defining job. That means go take that 4-month trip around the United States in your car, overextend your funds within reason, take that job commercial fishing in Alaska, just live and take a bite out of life. In your 40s, you likely won't be able to take the risks you took in your early 20s. Story 90. Be tidy, make your bed, do your chores, clean your room regularly, and take care of your hygiene. If you do not do these things at this age, you probably never will. Beyond your own benefit, I have found that these habits are the foundation of a good relationship of any kind. Story 91. Try to live at home for as long as you can and save as much money as possible. If you plan to move out, buy as much stuff as you can before moving to make the transition easier, such as dishes, silverware, and small appliances. While it helps to figure out college and career plans, early, don't feel pressured. As long as you have a stable income, that is what matters most at the moment, in my opinion. Friends come and go. The ones who are there through thick and thin are the ones you want to keep. If your family is not supportive, you do not have to keep them in your life. Story 92. After 25, it gets harder to take risks and avoid responsibility. Take all the risks now and do not work too hard. Story 93. 1. Try not to be indifferent when it is your parents' birthday. Be like, I am 22, and there are people this age who do not have a parent around. I get to celebrate with them today because they are here and doing okay. So, let's come to the party with some energy. Even if your parents are not enthusiastic themselves and do not have a big party, show them that you are. Have a thoughtful gift. They always say they do not want one. Maybe give a hug, even if they are not huggers. You have the right to set boundaries with them. I do not know what it is like in your family, but try to show them you love them. The rest is not in your hands. They have to do their part. You know your family better than I do. 2. Everyone says to make mistakes and have fun, and this is true, but you do not need to make mistakes that do not even feel fun for you just because society's narrative says that is what you are supposed to do. In my case, this was hooking up with men. It was never rewarding for me. Actually, it literally hurt every time. But in my early 20s, I somehow thought, what else am I going to do? Be demisexual? That does not sound fun. Everyone is hooking up with people. But really, I am demisexual and I am much happier accepting that. So obviously, the real fun for me was not what we are told to do at that age. Sometimes, do not be afraid to say yes, but also do not be afraid to say no. Story 94. Do not follow trends of any kind, whether fashion, makeup, home aesthetics, or others. Spend that time exploring these things from around the world and discovering yourself. Find what you love. Find what makes you feel good. Knowing yourself will always improve your life. Story 95. Keep traffic moving no matter where you are. If you are on the freeway and must drive exactly the speed limit, stay all the way to the right so others can pass and traffic does not build up. If you are at a stoplight and using your phone, pay attention to when everyone is moving so you do not hold others up. In the grocery store, do not stop in the middle of the aisle and block others. Basically, just stay out of everyone's way. The older you get, the more frustrating it becomes when people are in the way. Do your part and keep traffic moving. Story 96. Enjoy life at discos and clubs or with whatever you like, but make sure you are still enjoying it in 10 or 20 years from now. Learn something, earn your money, have respect for others, and build a foundation so you have that joy for the rest of your life. Story 97. Don't date potential. It's okay to take some time to figure out what you want to strive for, but once you have an idea, chase it and leave all the other what-ifs for another chapter. Story 98. I always felt like everyone knows exactly what they need to do to succeed, but most just do not care until they start feeling the consequences. You can either choose to ignore a mountain of advice and suffer, or trust people and make an effort in advance. The biggest realization for me is that you can ruin your life all you want. Nobody is coming to help. Story 99. Start hitting the gym now and make it a habit. Do not wait until you get older and realize you have gained weight or become weak and easily injured. Strength training will keep you younger longer than anything else. It is amazing for the body, brain, and soul. Story 100. Do not let other people make decisions about your life. Choose what makes you happy. You will thank yourself later. Story 101. Exercise and socialize as much as possible by asking people about their day and engaging in conversations. Develop your hobbies, whatever they may be. Spend as much time as you can outside your house, even if it is just walking around your neighborhood for exercise. Read as many books as you can at coffee shops. Take leaps of faith. Sometimes logic does not need to dictate decisions involving chance. However, be logical about your choices. Story 102. When I was younger, I did not have as much self-confidence and felt kind of lost in general. As I got older, I came to appreciate more the hard things I had done and the great friends and relationships I have had. This has helped me to feel more confident. So try not to stress as much, because sometimes if you just keep going, things start to come together. Story 103. Listen to me very carefully because as of this moment I am drunk and I shall spill some great wisdom which is true. Sex is overrated and it is something we waste a lot of time fixating on, which is not really required. All the bodies in the world are somewhat similar, and we truly differ in our characters and what really happens after orgasm. The point I am making is do not be too focused or hung up on sex and other bodies when you can nurture the soul and move towards the arts. The earthly predicaments will come. Do not worry about that. Story 104. My only advice for life is 3 things. Lift weights, invest in index funds, and brush your teeth. Story 105. You are currently the bravest and most free that you will ever be. Use it. Take risks, chase dreams, and fill your life as much as possible. Story 106. Take up a physical activity of some description. I did at 29, and it has massively improved my life. I wish I had started earlier. Story 107. Read The Defining Decade and get your life together. When I was in my early 20s, I was focused on trying to do what I thought was cool, having the most friends, traveling, and trying to have a job in the field I thought I wanted. It took everything falling apart at age 26 for me to fully start from scratch at 27. It took 3 years for me to catch up to where I now feel impressive for my age. By impressive, I mean being featured in the local news, receiving recognition at a large company, and feeling proud of myself and all the work I have done. The past 3 years were a huge effort and involved a lot of therapy. Some of it was recovery from actions I took in my early 20s in an attempt to heal from a difficult childhood. Would I take any of it back? It is hard to say. I think I needed things to fall apart to become who I am today. However, I wish I had started this process sooner so I would have more work experience and more money saved for a down payment on a house. Story 108. Car payments, credit cards, and chasing that FICO score are a one-way ticket to too much stress. The simpler your life is, the better. Story 109. Pick a long-term goal and work towards it. Do not forget to make time for collecting fun memories. Make friends with people from different backgrounds than yours. Try to become financially wise as soon as possible. Story 110. If you have no major financial responsibilities and still live with your parents, save as much money as possible. Story 111. Save and invest every dollar you can. You do not need to enjoy life when you are young. You need to set up your life so you can relax and live worry-free for 30 to 40 years. Story 112. Move fast but don't rush. Don't blame yourself for not making progress, but maintain a sense of urgency to be productive in both life and work. Seek therapy. Story 113. Never squeal on the pusher. Do not lie to your mother. Just do what you want to and it will be okay. Do not swim in the water. Do not fly in the daytime. Just do what you want to and it will be okay. Story 114. Live with parents while you build a foundation for yourself through work or education. Do not have children outside of marriage. Stay out of debt. Story 115. As soon as you get access to a company match 401k, Make sure you are receiving at least the full benefit of the company match. If you can contribute more, the earlier you invest the money, the more it will be worth at the time of retirement. Story 116. Do not care what others think. Take advice from those you trust, and for God's sake, take the risks to get ahead to where you want to be. Do not stop until you are happy. Story 117. Continue being active, or if you are not already, start being active. It gets really hard once you reach your late 20s, and it will benefit you both mentally and physically. Story 118. Stop doing what you know you should stop doing. It becomes much harder for an older person to change habits. Story 119. Skills are really important. Actual skills. It doesn't matter if you are into cars, computers, animals, or clothing. Learn how to work within areas of business that interest you, and life becomes very interesting and often profitable. Story 120. Invest in yourself. Work hard, play hard. And I don't mean party, but go do things. Explore what interests you. You don't have to have a reason. The reason is that you feel drawn to it. If it isn't your thing, then move on. You never know how those experiences will help you later. Story 121. Teeth are nature's credit score. I know exactly what type of person I am dealing with based on their teeth, barring mental illness and depression. I am well aware of what these conditions can do to hygiene and maintenance and would not wish them on anyone. Story 122. Stay out of debt. It is okay to go to a technical school, drive a 10-year-old car, and have a prepaid phone to avoid debt. Trust me, being in your 40s with little to no debt will make your life 10 times easier. For the past 7.5 years, my debt was higher than my income, but through budgeting, I have been able to reduce it to less than 30% of my income. Life is much easier without all that extra debt. Story 123. If you have severe social anxiety like I do, force yourself into social situations. It is difficult, but it will help you. Story 124. Start an individual retirement account. If I would have $1 million or more now. Focus on professions that will grow in the next 10 years. If I had gone into computers when I had the chance, I could have been like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. Be good to your knees. You will miss them when they are gone. Story 125. All my friends have started asking me for stretching tips as they have been getting more sore since I do yoga. I would say plenty of stretching. It is amazing how much of your aches and pain can go away once you consistently stretch. Obviously, there are things you cannot just stretch away, but I had really bad back pain in my mid-20s, and it turns out I had extremely tight hamstrings and calves that caused it. Story 126. It's never too early to save for retirement. The most important thing in a relationship is to feel loved, appreciated, and respected. If they don't respect you, they don't love you. Story 127. Life is longer than it seems. Use your 20s to try a lot of different things and do not worry about whether you are on track. You will spend a lot of time wondering if you made the wrong choice if you just go straight for a career or relationship without really exploring who you are and what you want first. Story 128. Start working out. You do not have to hate it. Find a fun activity you like and stick with it. It will be wonderful for your physical and mental health. Story 129. My advice is to get into a career where you can grow and there is a clear path to a job you want. You will be amazed at how quickly time goes by, and you will probably advance quite a long way if you keep at it. I also honestly wish I had saved less in my 20s and enjoyed spending the little money I had. Story 130. Exercise, even if it is 2 times per week. It is harder to get back into shape when you are older. All of your friendships will change as everyone is going in different directions. Story 131. Don't settle. Be selective with everything in life, not just relationships. Make sure your job is your passion, that you are making money at it, and that it gives you a purpose beyond just a career. Never rely on your plans being guaranteed, your education, your significant other, your family, your bank account, or your credit score. Embrace change and develop coping skills to be resilient, rather than living in victimhood. The world owes you nothing, even when it should. You only have yourself, and that is more than enough. Story 132. Start 2 bank accounts to save money. One for savings and one for expenses. Get a fit body and eat right. Don't let anyone use you. Don't fall in love with people who don't care or treat you right. More importantly, don't fall in love unless you are very sure. Don't start any bad habits. They will drain you and your money. Have at least 2 close friends and share when you go through something. Story 133. Get into lifestyle design and learn about it now. Also, you do not need to pursue a career in the field of your degree. Story 134. Refrain from alcohol, drugs, and losing sleep. Lose your boyfriend or girlfriend. Remain single. Focus on having a diverse group of good friends and learning all you can about yourself, the world, and people. Pick a career and go all in. Make mistakes. Learn from them. Study, experience, and live. This is you building your future self to be authentically you and have clarity to make important choices. Story 135. Stay at your parents' house if possible, and be kind to them. Working part-time without paying rent means your net income is high. Save money from each paycheck. Study a field you genuinely like, but also consider the job opportunities available afterward. Story 136. Grow your financial education. Make smart saving and investing decisions. Take care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. It pays off later in life, or if you do not, it catches up quickly in ways you do not want. Be selective about who you invest your time in. People will come and go. Put effort into those you connect with now, who help you grow and support you. Story 137. Trust your instincts. Do not enter the elevator, do not get into the car, and do not go home with someone if you feel unsafe. Do not worry about hurting a stranger's or a date's feelings. If it turns out you were wrong, you can always apologize. Story 138. Start stretching. Keep your joints and back mobile and supple. There are many 10, 15, and 20-minute routines available on video platforms. Story 139. Anyone who works desk jobs, fix your sitting and hand posture. It is often too late to detect carpal tunnel syndrome, which can cause permanent damage. Story 140. As someone who barely fits the mold for this question, forget you. But also, be bold and do not be afraid to try every new avenue possible. Life is short and you do not need to be boring yet. You have no clue what you are going to be like 5 years from now, trust. Story 141. Do not measure your life against someone else's timeline. Some people find their dream job at 22, others at 32. Some marry early, others marry later. Progress is not linear and success is not a race. Do not panic if you are still unsure, still trying, still growing. Keep showing up and focus on your goals. Story 142. Honestly, I'll just be blunt. If you are lucky enough to have your parents still with you and healthy, be very conscious that that time is limited. I don't want to depress everyone, but it becomes a very real thing as you approach your 30s that your parents do, in fact, pass away. Seems like a long time away. Unfortunately, it is not. So just try to have the best relationship you can. Story 143. Girls, you probably need to consider ditching your loser boyfriends. Boys, you need to realize you are not a kid anymore, sooner rather than later. Story 144. Do what minorities do and live at home until you are financially ready. There is no shame in going to community college first and then transferring. There is no shame in studying a trade. There are not enough plumbers, electricians, and other skilled workers. Do not follow trends, and do not worry about your friends spending their money on trips. If you follow this advice and only spend 20% of your paycheck, you will retire a millionaire. Story 145. Now is the time to experiment and fail. Do the hard things that scare you. Do not postpone them. Later, you will thank yourself for the experiences you gain. Story 146. Look after your teeth. It is a common piece of advice, but it is important. I am 25 and have just spent nearly 2,000 pounds on dental treatment, including having a tooth extracted, from which I am still recovering. Being 25 and missing a tooth is not something to be proud of. The surprising part is that my teeth were not even in bad condition, or at least I thought so. I used to clean them every morning and evening, but I was not doing it properly. I was not visiting the dentist for checkups, nor was I flossing. Tooth pain is unpleasant, and paying for treatment afterwards is difficult at any stage of life, especially in your mid-20s when you are trying to figure everything out. Take care of your teeth. Story 147. Dress like an adult, not like a child. Do not buy things to impress others. Nobody cares. Cut off negative people. If you want to grow, you have to change your surroundings, which may happen more than once in your life. Invest your money. Brands mean nothing. Buy quality. Try new things. You do not need alcohol or drugs to have fun. Do not waste your time. Instead, give yourself room to rest. Be kind to other people and do not judge them. You do not know their story. Believe in something, whether God or a higher power. In life, we are repeatedly shown how much we cannot influence. Listen to your intuition. You can do anything, so always believe in yourself. However, things take time, so have perseverance. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.